Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Michael. For today's video, I am going to be doing a 3 looks 1 palette with the e.l.f. and Jkissa To The Rescue palette. I am so excited. I have been itching to do more things with it since I did it in my last video. And so that is what we're going to do today. So I already have my eyes primed with my Milani primer, and I set it with a pressed powder that is slightly tinted, and I have my eyebrows done with this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in the shade Neutral Brown. Got you guys zoomed in. I got a little unwanted visitor today, so we'll just pretend that he is not there. First, I'm going to go into the shade Yosemite here, this really, really bright yellow. I'm going to build this up all over my lid. And then I am working it up into my crease and up into the transition area. And after I got a first layer down, I keep dipping back into the palette and building up the intensity until it is where I want. I'm also going to pull the shadow out just a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and deepen things up with the shade Paloma. And I'm going to focus this on the outer corner close to my lash line, and I'm pressing it out and then going into my crease. And then I'm going to feather that inward to create a nice light to dark gradient. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller domed brush. This is the e.l.f. J4 brush from the same collection. And I'm going to very, very lightly dip into the shade Millie. And I'm going to gently run this along the very edge, ever so slightly, just to create a little more interest up here and into my eye socket. Okay, now I'm going to take the e.l.f. and Jkissa Suki To My Heart liquid eyeshadow bundle. I'm going to use the shade I'm Pupset right here. And I'm actually going to dab this all along near my lash line across the entire lid. And then I'm going to take my finger and blend it out. Oh, yes, that's beautiful. Just going to repeat on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to take the applicator itself and run it really close to my lash line, acting almost as a liner. And then I'm going to pull it out. Since I don't want this video to be extremely long, I'm going to go do my complexion products off camera, and then I'll be back to do my lower lash line. So be right back. Okay, I am back. I did my entire complexion. I will have everything listed and linked down below. First, I am going to dip into the shade Yosemite. And I'm going to buff this all along the lower lash line and connect it up at the outer corner. And I'm buffing this pretty far down into this little eye bag area. I love this look. This is probably, I like this more than the first look I did. But I like soft, airy looks more than structured type looks. Let me know in the comments below what kind of looks you guys prefer. Do you like cut creases, halo eyes, more soft, blown out looks that are like watercolory like? Let me know down below. Next, I'm going to dip into the shade. All of my brushes are dirty, so I'm going to use this Luxie 243. It's this little pencil looking guy. And I'm going to dip into the shade Paloma. And I'm pinching the brush and running this all along the lash line, but this time I'm keeping it really close to my lashes. Or I'm trying to. I'm going to go back into that first brush I was using with the light yellow Yosemite. And I'm going to buff everything out one more time. Okay, I'm going to do mascara. First, I'm going to use the CoverGirl Lash Blast Amplify Primer. I'm just going to put a touch of this on, and then I'm really feeling like this look could benefit from a brown mascara, which is my favorite anyways. I really love brown mascaras. So I'm going to use one of my favorites. It's the Maybelline Snap Mascara. And I will be right back. Got mascara on, and now I'm going to use the highlight I used and do an inner corner highlight. And I'm kind of blending it up into my socket just a little to brighten up in here. Got that all done. Now I'm going to align my lips with my favorite lip liner. This is Milani Color Statement in the shade 3 Nude. And I kind of filled them in also. And now I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Nourishing Lipstick in the shade Buttercup. And I'm just going to dab this on. Then I'm going to spray my face with the ColourPop Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. And that is it for this look. I love it so much. This is probably one of my favorite looks I have done so far. It's just so fun. I think it is super, super wearable, especially for every day. Granted, the first video I did on this with my Halo Eye, I went to the grocery store immediately after, so I don't know, I'd wear anything anywhere. But if you like more simple, understated type looks, I think this is so pretty. And while it is simple and understated, it's just got a nice little oomph because of the lime green and the yellow, and I'm so obsessed. I love looks like these. It's so pretty. Not to mention that sparkle though. I love it. So here is the first look. Now it's time for look number 2. Yes, I am in different clothes because it is the next day. I wasn't able to film all 3 looks in one day, so it might take 3 whole days to make this video, but it's okay because I still am finding it very fun. And anyways, let's just dive right in. I already have my eyes primed with my Milani primer as always, and set with powder close to my skin tone. With that being that, let me zoom you guys in so you can see, and we'll get started. First, I am going to start off with this shade Yosemite. I'm going to use this as a transition, buffing right above my crease, up into my brow bone almost. Because with my eye shape, since it is slightly hooded, I have to have my transition shade come up higher so you can see it. If you guys want to recreate this look and you have a different eye shape, feel free to modify and change some things because it'll look different on different eye shapes, but it'll still be really cool. Then I'm just going to use the same brush and I'm going to dip into Millie. And I'm going to like wiggle this right directly into my crease. Just going to apply it. Then I'm going to wipe the brush off, and then I'm going to softly blend this in. I got some like little wispy bangs and I have to pin them back because they are driving me absolutely crazy. Okay. Continue. I'm just going back and forth between each eye, really making sure that it's all nice and soft and blended. And I'm just taking whatever is left on the brush and kind of sweeping it along my lid. There's not really hardly anything left. I just want to bring that slight veil of warmth all over. Now I'm going to go in with an angled brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Casey. I took a little bit of setting spray and I sprayed a corner of the pan to create a liner. And I'm gonna make a little tiny wing. And then I'm taking the red and I'm only going about 3/4 of the way. I don't think it quite matches, but that's okay. We're not done yet. Next, I'm going to dip into the shade Pepper, just with that same wet brush. And I'm going to just line the bottom of this. create more depth. I'm gonna wipe that off and go into the shade Millie. I'm using the exact same brush, and I'm gonna go right on top of where that red was on the top of the wing and like buff this inward. And then I'm going to connect the orange to the inner corner of my eye. And I'm going to go back and blend this and make sure it's all nice and soft. Now I'm going to go do my complexion. I'm going to use pretty much the exact same things I used in the first look. So I'm going to go do that and I will be right back. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Yosemite and start running that all along the lower lash line. And I'm bringing it really far down so I can have this really nice smoky effect. Then I'm going to go into the shade Zuma and pinch the brush, put this closer to my lash line. I'm just going to apply it first and then blend it out. And I'm actually going to go back into those angled brushes. And I'm going to go into the shade Strawberry and put this right up next to my lash line and connecting it with the outer wing. There was a phone call and I went ahead and put my mascara on, and I didn't have a yellow eyeliner, so what I did was wet my brush and dipped into the shade Paloma, and I put that on my lower waterline. Now I am ready for blush, I think. And what I'm going to do is take a more bronzy rosy blush. This is the Flower Beauty Heat Wave bronzer actually, but it goes pink on me. And what I'm going to do is place it like right on my cheekbone, right above where my bronzer is, kind of meshing them together. Because I want to use a little bit of the yellows in this palette for some blush to add a little fun something something. Just gonna very lightly bring it down on my apples and then sweep whatever's left on my forehead, my nose, and my chin. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I used the shade Firefly as an inner corner highlight, and I quite love it. Okay, I'm going to dip into the shade Yosemite very lightly, and maybe a little bit of Paloma, just kind of mix them both. And then I'm going to layer this right over that blush color and down onto my apples. And I'm just kind of swirling it very lightly, holding it towards the end of the handle so I don't accidentally go too heavy-handed. Then I'm going to sweep the rest on my forehead, on my nose, and on my chin. I'm going to go back into that brush that I had that Flower Beauty on. Just kind of press over everything. Then I'm going to take my sponge and go over the edges, around my apples and my cheeks, and into my on the edges of my bronzer to make sure it's all nice and I have no harsh edges. Okay, I think we can zoom out a little bit now. Not gonna lie, I have no idea what to do for lips, so I'm gonna go think about that real quick and I'll be back. So I'm gonna take a lipstick called Seven Springs from ColourPop. Any orangey lipstick will do. I know I've seen lots of them from NYX, and I think e.l.f. has some in their new, some new cream lipstick that have an orangey color. But I'm just gonna run this in the inside of my lip and then kind of press it out to create like a popsicle-y type look. Okay, next, since my eyes are pretty matte except for the inner corner color and a little bit along the lower lash line, I really want a glossy lip. So I'm going to use the shade Fire from Tower 28. It's a really, really awesome gloss. I love this formula. And I'm only putting this gloss on the outer portions of my lips. It will migrate to the inner portion. Anybody else make the lip gloss face? Now I am going to set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Mist. This is it for look number 2. So now let us move on to the third and final look. Okay, so it has taken me 4 days now to film this video. Yesterday I was gonna film this last look and it just didn't happen. I was busy running errands. So I woke up this morning and I was starting to get ready, do my hair, get dressed, all the things. I finished with my hair and I didn't want to get dressed, so here I am in my pajamas with my now lukewarm coffee, but it's okay because it's still really cute. And can I just say, look at this mug. Isn't it the most adorable mug you've ever seen? I can't. It's my favorite, so. Let me zoom you guys in and we'll get started on the third look. Okay, I already have my eyes primed with my Milani primer and I set it with my Can Make pressed powder. This is the marshmallow powder, I think. It's just I'm thinking of dabbling in the reds and purples today. So I'm going to take the J2 brush and dip into the shade Jkissa very lightly. And I'm going to use this kind of as a transition. I decided to switch to the J3 brush because I wanted something a little more fluffy. And I'm just going to lay that down in my crease. But I'm just slowly building this up and buffing it out until it's nice and diffused. Now I'm going to take the J2 brush and jump into the shade Pepper. And I'm going to build this up on the outer corner and bring it into my crease a little bit. And I'm just laying it down at first and then I'll blend it out. Going back into the J3 brush and just buffing out these edges. Okay, now I'm going to take my finger and go into the shade Strawberry. And I'm going to apply this all over my lid. Now I'm taking a big fluffy brush and I'm just kind of buffing out the edges where the shimmer is because I don't want it to be harsh and cut crease-like. Now I'm going to take a e.l.f. and Jkissa J1 brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Sadie. And I'm going to layer this on the outer corner, right over top of that red. I'm not bringing it into my crease. I'm focusing it mostly next to my lash line. Then in between each layer, I'm taking and buffing the edges because I want to keep it nice and soft. Okay, now I'm going to take that same J1 brush and dip into Pretty Girl, which is that nice deep purple. And I'm just layering this up right next to my lash line. And I'm kind of bringing it over that shimmer shade to act as like a little liner. And then I'm using pressing motions to blend out the line. And then I'm just wiping off the brush because I want to use this exact same brush. And I'm going back into the shade Pepper, which is the darker red. And then I'm putting this right over top of that purple. And then again, blending out the edges. Okay, I'm just touching up that shade Strawberry because I want it a little more vibrant because it got kind of lost when I added those purples. I think I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to wet it and go into Confetti and kind of press that right along the bottom here where that dark purple is. This might be a mistake. I'm going into the shade Sadie and just pressing over that. Okay, I think it'll look a little better once I get mascara on and clean up this fallout because I wasn't really careful. So I'm going to go clean up my face and put my complexion on and I will be right back. Alright, I am back. I have my entire complexion done. I went ahead and did blush this time off camera, but I'm actually going to use it as the base for my lower lash line. It is the Milani Luminoso blush. I'm going to take a ColourPop E16 brush. It is stained purple, but it's not purple, so don't worry. And I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to run this across the entire lower lash line. Okay, now I am going to take the e.l.f. and Jkissa J6 brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Jkissa. And I'm going to smudge this along the lash line about a little bit more than halfway. And I am connecting it up into the outer corner. I'm making sure to keep the reds really tight up against my lash line because since my lid is so bold and I brought it really far up, I want to keep it really tight under here, but I want to carry the colors down there. Okay, now I'm going to dip into Pepper, and I'm gonna be even more precise with this and only bring it halfway. Okay, I'm just gonna stick with that same brush, and I'm actually going to mix Sadie and Pretty Girl. Those are the two matte purples. And I'm only going to put this on the outer 1/4 of my eye, just so I can connect the purples in the outer corner to the bottom. Just like that. And then I'm going to pinch the brush that I had the blush on and ever so slightly skim it along the edges, just to diffuse this. You know what I forgot? I forgot mascara. I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to use my Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. I feel like I used this in the last look. I don't know, I'll have to look. I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget, but that's what happens when you take 4 days to film one video. Now I am going to do inner corner highlight. I'm actually just going to use my Luminoso blush. I don't want it to be super, super bright, but I want a little light in here. And this is nice and reflective, so it'll give me that without being blinding. I always like to pull it up ever so slightly because I feel like it opens up my eye shape a little bit better. You can play around and see what works best with your eye shape and just go from there. My eyelashes molted on this side again, so I cannot for the life of me get them as beautiful as this side. Does anybody else have that problem? Because it drives me nuts. I think I'm going to add a little bit more blush because in my opinion, too much blush does not exist. Okay, for lips, I'm going to use this ColourPop Lippy Pencil. Ooh, it needs sharpened. In the shade Good and Plenty. And I'm going to go ahead and fill them in also. And now I'm going to take this ColourPop lip gloss. This is the shade Moon Tiara from the Sailor Moon collection. Any peachy gloss will work. And I just am dabbing this on in the centers, not going in the outer corners. Now I'm going to spray my face. I'm going to use this Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe and cucumber. Now I'm going to gently press my peach fuzz down with this sponge. What are your guys' favorite dewy or radiant setting sprays? Because that's what I like. It doesn't even have to be labeled as a setting spray. It just can be a facial mist. But let me know your guys' favorites. I left my brow gel downstairs and I don't really feel like getting it, so I'm just not going to do brow gel today. So anyways, this is the finished look. Okay, so that is the third and final look of this 3 looks 1 palette using the e.l.f. and Jkissa To the Rescue palette. Let me know down below if you picked this up. Are you enjoying it? Tell me what looks you have created, or if you are going to try any of these 3 that I did in this video. So that's all I have for you today. If you have not yet already, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified every single time I upload. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah. Okay, stop shaking. Stop. Oh my gosh.
Can we get a shark?
Okay, love. Oops. Every time that happens. Okay, I am back. Do not forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you have not yet already.